Why do small habits make the biggest impacts? That's what we're going to talk about today. Hi, this is Jill from the North Woods, talking about how to make your life better one small step at a time. It's easy for us to feel overwhelmed, to feel like we have too many things to do. But you know what? There are some very small habits you can commit to, maybe under 5 minutes each, that would make the rest of your life better. And we're going to talk about what those habits are. Think about it. If you're trying to get something done, write for 5 minutes, take a 5-minute walk, clean something out for 5 minutes. And most people discover that when starting the hardest part, once you're committed to moving, you're committing. And most people find that when they start doing something that's hard for them, just moving, just beginning something, it makes them move even more. Committing to the beginning is the most important habit. That you're not committing to finish something, that you're not committing to do the entire thing. I got to clean my basement. I'm just going to commit to beginning it. That's the example. A small thing that can help make the rest of your day better. Some ideas is that I've learned is drink water before you eat, before you snack, before you drink coffee in the morning. Most people are mildly dehydrated and they don't even know it. And if you can get that first glass of water in right away at the beginning of your day, it will make the rest of your day go better. Think about getting out and just getting a little bit of sunshine in the morning, just 2 minutes. I have a deck, go stand out on the deck. As it turns out, our circadian rhythm improves, our sleep quality improves, our mood lifts when the sun is the very first thing that we see in the day. For me, I live in a world, as you can tell, of artificial lights. I love my artificial, colorful lights, but nothing beats the sun for getting your brain awake to getting you up and going in the morning. So just getting a first few moments of sunshine, just for, like I said, just 2 minutes will make your day better. And can you commit every day to just read one page? Reading has fallen out in our society. And it turns out that if you just read one page a day, it can actually turn into 15 to 20 books for the year. I read about 60 books a year, but I'm a reader. I love reading and I read to do these podcasts. But if you could just read one page, maybe it's the Bible, read one page of the Bible instead of mindlessly scrolling in the morning, do something that feeds your brain right away in the morning. What about having a prayer moment? To pray, to have a moment of gratitude, to pray for your day, you're going to hit some challenges. We all know every challenge we hit during the day. Lately for me, I'm trying to get into the habit of doing cardio. I pray about it every morning. I want to do a good job at work. Pray about that every morning. So in that sense, by praying, I believe in the power of prayer, but it is also establishing you as a different person, a different brain structure from you. When you start out that morning with gratitude and prayer right away at the beginning of the day, choices become easier. And that's what I'm finding out for myself. One of the things I used to do is when my alarm would go off, I'd hop right out of bed because I was always so afraid I'd fall back asleep again. Yeah, true story. But now what I do is instead of hopping out of bed, because I noticed that it was stressing me out, I have a Welltory app that shows me when I'm stressed and not stressed. I started out, I'm just going to look like at the news of the day for the first few minutes. Well, it turns out that stressed me out too. Now it is prayer and reflection on the day. So those two habits alone, like I said, drinking the water, getting the sunshine, and praying. Not in that order. It'd be praying, getting the drink of water, and then seeing sunshine will start your day off better. And it even works with someone who is sort of fundamentally not active in the morning. I am not a morning person, so it helps get me going and setting the day correctly. The idea is that you're designing your structure so that you can actually have a great day. One of my habits that I have done, and this is not just a morning or afternoon habit, is that I had a problem when I would buy snacks at the grocery store. And what you want to do is you want to take the habits you want to do and make them low friction, make them as easy as possible. The things you don't want to do, you want to make them hard to start and hard to do. And if you can build that kind of friction into the things that you're doing in day-to-day life, it'll make you better. So one of the habits I called it sort of designing for my lazy self. So I used to have a snack habit, right? And I would keep snacks and keep them in the house. And I know just from a psychology point of view, if you ban something, I am not allowed to eat Doritos. All you'll think about is Doritos. So what you do instead is say, Jill, you can eat anything you want. You want cake, you want pie, you want ice cream, you want Doritos, whatever you want, you can have them. But you cannot buy them during the regular grocery shopping list. I only buy healthy foods when I go grocery shopping. It has to have a certain amount of fiber, a certain amount of protein. It can't have too much sugar or too many carbs in it. And the idea is grocery shopping, Jill. This is my alter ego. She is a very good grocery shopper and she never buys junk food. But I don't ban it either. You know what? If I want to have a piece of cake, get in the car and go drive to the grocery store or the bakery and get yourself a piece of cake or a bag of Doritos. And that way I don't feel like I've banned anything for myself, but I'm pitting my lazy self against this desire to go make a special trip. So I didn't fix my snacking habits. I just made them really inconvenient. And then I never feel so motivated to have some Doritos that I would actually get in the car, drive, a mile and a half to the grocery store and buy a bag of Doritos. That friction works for me, and it stopped me from snacking without actually banning it from myself. Some other things that I like to do is I like to set up habits that are automatic, repeat every day or every month, and they just run. For example, putting in automatic savings from your paycheck. So maybe every paycheck, you just draw money out and you throw it in the savings. You never see it. You never look at it. You never look at your balance account. It's never there. It goes off. And for me, that really worked out well. It happened before I had a chance to spend it. And that is what started me being able to save money. Most people, this is the mistake I used to make, would take what I had left at the end of the month and then put it in the savings account. That usually happened where really very little was left over. Ooh, I have enough money to buy an iPad. I'm going to go buy an iPad. It's something like that. Instead, you can do it beginning, and that way you never even see it and you never even get a chance to spend it. Every time I get a performance raise, the first thing I do is I see the delta, the change between my last paycheck and then this new paycheck. I take that amount and I throw that amount in my savings too. I lived last month on this particular amount of money. I was just fine. I'm never even going to miss it. So before I start getting lifestyle creep, the money is gone before I even know what happens to it. So I save even more money. This is actually how I saved for my retirement. For a long, long time, I had no retirement money, and this is how I ended up getting a good retirement money. That I've been doing this essentially since, I'm trying to think. I've been doing this for nearly 30 years, putting my raises into savings account. And that is exactly how I got ahead and got enough money to retire. It was valuable enough. And just the automatic habits, if there are things that you can do that are just automatic, they will make the biggest difference in your life. The next category of habits that you might do that when you're trying to build good habits is that you can start stacking habits. So part of my favorite habits don't require me to have any sort of willpower. I sort of attach a habit I'm already doing well to a habit that I'm trying to get better at. So for me, I started, I had screwed up my ankles and I had to do so many ankle lifts every day. Twice a day, I was supposed to do ankle lifts. And I started doing them when I brush my teeth. I'm not doing anything else. I'm just sitting there brushing my teeth. I can do ankle raises up and down on my ankles, right? I always do them now. I never forget. If I'm going upstairs or downstairs, I have to go to the bathroom or I'm bringing, laundry down to the basement. I always bring stuff with me. Every time I go up and down stairs, something comes with me. A glass, a book, a wrapper that I need to throw away. And it almost helps the house stay pretty darn tidy because I'm actually, I talked about this before, I have zones. This is my hobby recording zone. My bedroom, my sleeping and clothes zone. my gym, exercise, and recovery zone. Like it might have massagers or heating pads in my gym. Every room has a purpose. And so every time I go upstairs or downstairs, if I just bring one thing and put it back in its zone, not necessarily way, the house stays organized. The other part of it too is that I get these, I'm a big Apple fan. And so I have my Apple, stand up notifications. So I used to stand up and sort of walk around and pace a little bit and then go sit back down and do my work. Now, when I stand, I usually try to wipe a counter. I divided my kitchen into 5 zones. And every time I have a standing hour, I wipe the countertops in that zone, put anything away that needs to be put away. Like I left a box of crackers sitting on the countertop while I'm standing doing my standing moment. The box of crackers goes back in the cabinet and I wipe down the thing. Easy to do, and I'm kind of killing 2 birds with one stone. I'm getting my movements in, and then I'm also doing that. The other part of it too is that can you create exercise habits? So maybe if you can go for a 10-minute walk after you eat, one of the best things that you can do to stabilize your blood sugar, improve your digestion, is to go for a very small walk after you eat. So like I said, taking something I do already, eat, and attaching another habit to it. The other part of it too, as we mentioned before, friction. And I talked about how I try to increase the friction of Doritos. But maybe now you want to reduce the frictions on some things that you're really wanting to do. So think of this. Before you go to bed, every evening, can you set out your workout clothes? Put your workout shoes with your workout clothes. Set out your vitamins. Write the top 3 things that you want to accomplish the next day before you go to bed. That's what I do. So every night before I go to work, I end work, I write the next 5 things I want to do tomorrow at my job. Because then when I'm tired, I'm all fuzzy, I can look at this list of the 5 things I wanted to accomplish that next day. And by writing them down. If my gym clothes are sitting there in my little gym room all set up and ready for me to go, well, they're already there. I don't have to go digging around and looking for gym clothes already set out. So my little 5 minutes of preparation before I go to bed makes the next day even better. It adds up, like I said, huge gains. It makes it nice and easy for me to do. Think about food too. You can make food easier. So at one point, I had some snacks in this house. And so what I did is I had, I think it's a liquor cabinet, but I don't put liquor in there. But it's high up and I'm really short. So I took all my snack foods that I had and I put them in that liquor cabinet, which means I have to get a step stool out before I can go and look at it. Most people put their snack foods in this drawer, right? Right next to the refrigerator, easy to just grab something and go. For me, putting my snacks up at the liquor level cabinet made it so that I oftentimes don't see it. So I walk into the kitchen now and I see the pear, or I see the string cheese, or I see the thing that I want myself to eat sitting right there in front of me. And the stuff I don't want to eat, it's over there, harder to get. I even brought that to my work, and most people seem pretty happy with it. Hopefully they weren't mad. But essentially, we had big bowls of candy in every conference room at my office. And I said, could we just take the candy and put it in the lunchroom and have big bowls of fruit sitting in each conference room? And that's one step we did. Because a lot of times you go to a meeting, maybe the meeting's going on and you're getting a little rumblies in your tummy there. And there's an apple sitting right there. I'm just going to eat the apple. I'm going to eat a couple grapes, something like that. So that's been a big bonus, to try to make eating good foods easy and making bad foods harder than that. Part of it, too, is that people will often talk about this, putting their phone face down. When someone's talking to you, just put your phone away or put it face down. That way, you are able to focus on what people are talking to you about. And that tiny reaction makes people feel heard. It makes them feel listened to. And it improves the amount of time relationships have together. You're not really doing anything differently. You're not leaving your phone at home. You're just setting it down. And so that's the idea of making it harder to just glance down and look at your phone. The idea, and this came, I think, from James Clear, is he talked about, if you can improve 1% every single day, that if you just do this little amount, I forgot what the statistics, but you're like 261% better. Well, I guess you'd be 365% better. But anyway, that's the idea. If you can make one thing 1% better, that compounding effect of that habit, the slight edge, being slightly better, a little bit better every day, every week, will actually build up and compound itself into great habits, big changes, and some of the most effective ways that you can do to change your life. So I guess in the end, what I want to leave you with is the idea that big change usually doesn't come from big decisions. It comes from these small actions that we take every day that can quietly shape our lives. Drink water, take a walk, read a single page, see the sun, write down the 3 things you want to get done today. Put things away when you're walking past it. When you make these little tiny efforts, that's what's going to change the trajectory of your life. And these, like I said, they seem like insignificant, tiny little things, but over a month and then over a year, it can change the whole trajectory of your life. All right, everyone, thanks so much. Jill from the Northwoods. I appreciate you being out there and spending time with me. Please remember you can contact me at jill@startwithsmallsteps.com. I appreciate you being out there. You can leave a comment if you're watching this in a video format. And thanks for watching this video, and please come again.